Hello, everyone. It's the final round of the rookie versus the vet. It is myself and Donnavan. If you haven't watched this series so far, we have been picking the winner of every NHL playoff series, as well as how many games each series will last. And all that we have left, of course, is the Stanley Cup final. Donnavan, how are you feeling going into the final? You have a 1 point lead. If you win and we do this next year, then I guess I'll be the rookie and you'll be the vet, or I'll be the washed up guy and you'll be the vet. So how are you feeling with a 1 point lead heading into the final round here?
I feel good. I'm feeling confident. Not to be cocky because I know that anything can happen. But I feel really good up until this point, especially because I was able to come back in the conference finals and get the lead there. I think if I had to kind of be aggressive and play from behind in the Stanley Cup, it wouldn't have fared well for me. But I like where I'm at right now.
Yeah, let's bring up a little recap of the conference final here. We both got Lightning correct. That was the only point that I got. You got the Avalanche. Neither of us hit the amount of games the series was going to last correctly. Avalanche swept the Oilers, and the Lightning took the Rangers to 6. So you got 2 points. I got 1 point. That gives you the 1 point lead. That means, Donnavan, that in order for me to win this competition, I need to not only predict the correct winner of the series, but I also need to predict how many games the series will last with the pressures on me. Of course, there is a world where I just get the 1 point. And if that's the case, then we tie, unfortunately. You're obviously in the driver's seat here. So going to be a pretty short episode this time because we only have one series to talk about as opposed to the opening round. We had 8 different series to talk about. So pretty quick video here. We got our picks in. As in terms of the odds, just really quick mention the odds. The odds don't really come into play in this video, but WinBet does have the Avalanche as a minus 190 favorite. The Lightning coming in at plus 155. Obviously, the Lightning trying to pull off the first three-peat since the Islanders won 4 straight back in the early 1980s. So, anything else we need to say, or you ready to jump into the pick?
Let's go straight into it.
All right. As always, Donnavan, you are first, so go ahead and start off with your pick to win the 2022 Stanley Cup Final.
I think I've been pretty consistent and kind of like mapping out where I'm going to go with this. I've picked a lot of underdogs this year, and I said from the jump that the winner of the Maple Leafs Lightning series was going to win the Cup, and the Lightning are now here, and so I'm picking the Tampa Bay Lightning to three-peat. It's going to take them 6 games to beat the Colorado Avalanche, but I think that these are the guys that are going to get that illustrious and historic three-peat to put their franchise in the hall, even if it's already there. They're gonna three-peat. They're gonna cash in as underdogs to get this series in 6. How you feel? Just early thoughts.
You put me in a tough position here, Donnavan, to be honest, because I've already written articles saying that I like the Lightning. I think there's value on them as an underdog. I've also said, though, that I do think the Avalanche are the rightful favorite. But you have put me in a little bit of a tough spot because if I pick either the Lightning or for the series to go in 6 games and we share either of the same 2 picks, I mathematically can't win the competition.
That's tough. So now, okay. Yeah.
Because of that, I will take the Avalanche in 7.
Very fair.
I did say from a betting standpoint that I think the Lightning are being a little bit undervalued, but I have said, I've gone on record that the Avalanche will be favored. I think if I think the Avalanche should be favored, even if it's slight favorite, then if we're just talking about who is going to win the series straight up, I will take the Colorado Avalanche. I think it goes the full 7 games. I think the Tampa Bay Lightning are going to give them a lot of troubles and really exploit a couple of holes that the Avalanche do have. But let's list some stats so far of these NHL playoffs, shall we? Corsi percentage, one of my favorite stats to cite so far these playoffs. Avalanche, 57.68%. Lightning, sub 50, all the way down to 49.04. Expected goals, Avalanche, 3.72 compared to the Lightning, who are like 3.22. I didn't write it down correctly in my notes. Expected goals against, 2.39 against 2.97. High danger scoring chances against, 9.68, 11.62, shooting percentage 11.4 versus 9.42. My point is, I mean, I could list these stats off all day. The Colorado Avalanche statistically have been the much better team so far this postseason. They will get it done. They have been the Stanley Cup favorites since the start of the NHL regular season. They have one of the best lines in the NHL. Nathan MacKinnon, obviously one of their best players. Shout out Nova Scotia boy Nathan MacKinnon. Cale Makar most likely is going to be the Conn Smythe Trophy winner. He's leading the Avalanche in points as a defenseman. He's been setting postseason records as a defenseman. So I will be taking the Avalanche to win this in 7. And we do have someone in the chat, Nate Suter. Point possibly returning. Hard to bet against the Avs, but I agree. Vasi is an arguable GOAT already. Yes, those are issues that I do have with the Avalanche, even though I am on them. Braden Point looks like he is going to return for the Lightning. That's a concern for the Avalanche. We haven't heard if Nazem Kadri is going to return for the Avalanche. I would like to see him come back for the Avalanche to kind of match up with Point a little bit. So that is a little bit of an advantage to the Lightning. The Lightning, I do think, also have the goaltending advantage, obviously, with Andrei Vasilevsky. I will say the Avalanche led the NHL in regular season save percentage, but their goaltending hasn't been great in the postseason. If they want to win the series, they do need their goaltenders to pick things up and play a little bit better, because they won't be able to get away with a sub-90 save percentage, which is what they've had in the playoffs against the Lightning. So if I were to have 2 counterpoints to my own points, I would say Braden Point coming back is bad news for the Avalanche, and also their goaltending needs to pick it up. But we've seen them seen strong play from the goalies in the regular season. They just need to bring that to the playoffs finally.
Yeah, I think another thing that's going to be very interesting, specifically for Game 1, is that the Avalanche are going to be in a similar position that the Lightning were in last round, in terms of having this really, really long layoff after sweeping their opponent. And you saw it took the Lightning 2 games to get out of that funk from that long layoff. I think Tampa Bay, even though that they are going to have a pretty good amount of time from Game 6 to tomorrow night, They've just rattled off 4 straight. I think they're going to be a little bit hot. So in terms of like Game 1, I think that they have a chance to get it done there. And if you can go on the road, right, and get Game 1, the entire series changes. And so, like, when I look at the series, there's that aspect of it. I think Tampa Bay obviously has like the championship grit, and you saw it against the Rangers, where it was just a matter of, are they going to execute or not? And they, the last 4 games of the series, they obviously do that. And the reason why, I think that the main reason why I think Tampa Bay is going to be able to get off in this series is because Colorado hasn't really been pushed this entire postseason. Like, they played the Predators in the first round. That was an easy walkthrough. The hardest series was against the Blues, and the Blues, the Blues come in, they beat the Wild in the first round, but they weren't like a fantastic team. And then you have a series against the Oilers that favors everything that they want to do, this wide open style of hockey, offensive focused. I don't think that's going to be the case in the Stanley Cup final. I think Tampa Bay is going to be able to slow down the pace, and you're not going to be seeing these 8-6 games, 6-5, all these games where you're seeing double digit goals. That's not going to be the trend. That's not going to be the norm for this series. So once you get past that, if you're Colorado, are you going to be able to adjust to the defense that Tampa Bay is putting on you? And I don't think that they will, which is why I think Tampa Bay is ultimately going to three-peat.
I would say a similar thing about the Lightning, though, because they kind of had a Benjamin Button Eastern Conference playoff run where every series they played in was kind of an easier matchup. Obviously, I know they swept the Panthers, but the Panthers are a better team than the Rangers. The hardest matchup they had in the playoffs was against the first my Maple Leafs in the first round. And let's not forget, and trust me, I haven't. The Maple Leafs had a 3rd period lead in Game 6 with a chance to close out the series. It then went to overtime. They could have closed out the series there. I mean, Leafs score in overtime there. The Lightning playoff run is over. So this is by far the toughest team that they will face since they faced the Maple Leafs in the first round. And the Maple Leafs threw every single thing they had at them and almost ended their chance at a three-peat. So they need to play better this series than they played. I didn't think they played fantastic against the Rangers. To be completely honest, I think Game 3 was their best game, but then the Rangers kind of fell off after that. So It's going to be an interesting one. That's going to be obviously a very good series. The two best defensemen in the NHL, I think, and arguably the two best defensemen face off against each other. Victor Hedman for the Lightning, Cale Makar for the Avalanche. Nathan MacKinnon, like I mentioned already, against Kucherov and Stamkos. Landeskog in there. It's going to be a very good series against two very good, well-coached teams as well. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think, listen, anytime that you have a team on the brink of history, the way that Tampa Bay is, even, regardless of who you're going for, just that storyline by itself is going to be super, super interesting to see if they can three-peat. And
this is coming from a guy who rates how much championships mean based on dynasties. So this is like an extra meaningful championship for you.
No, it really is. It really is. I think like three-peats in any sport is extremely rare. And I am a little bit different than most other people. I tend to like appreciate dynasties more than get tired of them. And if you can have a team legitimately solidify themselves as one of the best teams in NHL history and solidify this era, that's historic. That's crazy. People don't three. You know how hard it is to win 3 championships in a row, and then and especially to do it as an underdog. Like that's gonna. I'm saying that they're gonna do it in 6 if they are able to go in to Colorado, steal home ice advantage, and get it done before. It's gonna be fantastic.
Are the Bulls from the 90s the last NBA team to three-peat?
No, the Lakers did it at the start of the 2000s.
Oh, God.
Lakers won in 2000, 2000, 01, and then 02.
Okay, so let's bring up our final, our picks for the Stanley Cup final here. There it is. It is the Avalanche in 7 and the Lightning in 6. For me to win this competition, it has to be the Avalanche in 7. If it goes 6 games, well, I guess if the Avalanche win in 6, it'd be a tie. If it finishes, So there's a lot of different ways this could go, but the only way that I can win, obviously, is if the Avalanche win in 7. If the Lightning win in 4, 5, or 6, you will be declared the winner. If the Lightning win in 7, though, it'll be a tie.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let's go. I'm ready. Tomorrow's going to be super, super fun.
So final thought then, who's going to win game 1? Game 1, obviously, it's in Colorado this year. Colorado does have the home ice advantage. Who's going to win game 1? Is it Lightning, or are they going to get off to a fast start?
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay in game 1.
All right, there you have it. I'll take the Avalanche in game 1.
Okay.
All right, that is the final. This is the final episode of Rookie vs. the Vet. It has been myself and Donnavan breaking down and giving our picks for the NHL playoffs. Whichever way you decide to bet on the Stanley Cup final, best of luck to you. Best of luck to me in this competition. Hopefully we'll be back to do this again next year. I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And tune in for the daily bet slip today for watching this on Tuesday. Donnavan, I believe it is you and Ben today, correct?
Yes, sir.
At 5 p.m. Eastern. So tune in into that, and I'll see you next time.